Good morning, students. So let's start our class. Today we will do the other part, the half part of. Okay, so we were doing Happy Prince, written by Oscar Wilde. Uh, we came to know about Happy Prince that when Happy Prince he was alive, he has never known what sorrow was. But after his death, as he was put on a tall column, his statue was put on a tall column from where he can actually see everything, the misery of the city, the poor people who are suffering. So he could not actually now he realized what sorrow it was, and he could not actually see those suffering of the people, but he could not help anyone there. So once a bird swallow he flew from a country to go to Egypt, and as it was night time, so he darted there, he stayed there, so that he can move on in the next morning. But the Happy Prince, he requested him to stay with him for one night and to help him. And after a long request, the swallow also felt pity on him. And then as the swallow was also a kind-hearted bird, so he agreed with him and he stayed with him to help the people. So in the first, he by giving a ruby, he helped a old woman who was sewing the maid's gown, queen's maid's gown, and her child, her son, he was suffering uh, from fever. So in the swallow, he picked up the ruby and he flew up to her house, and he dropped the ruby on her table. And he also, as he was kind, though he has said that he doesn't like boys, but still he somehow he saw that boy he was suffering. He just fanned him. He relaxed, and by fanning him with his thing, the boy felt relaxed. So in this way, he helped the old woman. Now, after that, they actually after that, uh, now the swallow, he thought that his work was completed as the Happy Prince. The prince has told him to help that poor lady, so he had helped it, and he was also feeling very nice when he helped the woman, as it was a cold, as it was a winter time, but still he felt a little bit warm because he has done some good deeds. Then the next day, he is ready to just fly away from there to go to Egypt. But again, the Happy Prince, he requests to stay with him one night longer. And the bird, he actually does not want to stay because he know that his friends are uh, enjoying there and the river Nile. They are enjoying in the Egypt. So he also wants to go there. But as the Happy Prince, he requested so much that he could not actually reject his proposal. He said, "Okay, I will wait for today, but again, But today I will help you, and tomorrow I will flee away from here to enjoy with my friends." So he actually stayed there, and this time he wants to help playwright, a writer who was actually who could not complete his play because he was suffering, because he was feeling cold. There was no wood to make himself warm. He was also very hungry. He was in a dark room, and he buried his head on the shoulder, on his hand, and he could not do anything because he was hungry, and because of hunger is making him faint, and he does not even have money to buy food for himself or to buy the wood to keep himself warm. So now the Happy Prince, he wants the swallow to help the playwright. Okay, so now, "Swallow, swallow," said the prince. So you can see page number 31. I will read it out from there, page number 31. Okay, so now he wants him to wait there. He wants to help the playwright. So now what he said: "Swallow, swallow, little swallow," said the prince. "Far away across the city, I see a young man in a garret. He is leaning over a desk covered with papers, and in the class by his side there is a bunch of withered violets. His hair is brown and crisp, and his lips are red as a pomegranate, and he has large and dreamy eyes. He's trying to finish a play for the director of the theatre, but he's too cold to write any more. There is no fire in the grate, and hunger has made him faint." Now, as the swallow told the prince that his friends are waiting for him in the desert. But now again the prince has requested swallow to stay with him one day longer, one night longer. Told that far away across the city, from there he can see a young man who is in a dark room, gathered a small dark room, and he's leaning over the desk, his head buried on his hand, covered with papers. The desk was covered with papers, and there is in the glass he has some withered violets, means some dried flower. And as we can know here that this man he is writing the play for from many days, and that's why here the flower he has not even got the chance to change those flowers. Know that he has been writing the play from many days, and his hair is brown and crisp, and his lips are red like a pomegranate, and he said that he has a dreamy eyes. Dreamy eyes means he is very hardworking. He has some dreams. He wants to complete his play for the director of the theater. But as it was too cold, uh, that he could not write, and also he could not afford. He doesn't have uh, enough money to buy wood for himself or to buy food for himself, and there is no fire in the fireplace, and hunger has made him faint. So he wants to help that playwright. So then, what the swallow he said, I will wait with you one night longer, said the swallow, who really had a good heart. He asked if he should take another ruby to the young playwright, and then the swallow he said that okay, he's ready to stay with him one night longer to help the playwright. He said that okay, I will wait with you one night longer, and I will help you. And then he tell, okay, I have to take a ruby. Should I take a ruby for that young playwright? He asks he asks the happy prince. Alas, I have no ruby now, said the prince. The prince is very in a very sad way, and a very sorrow. He exclaimed in sorrow that that he doesn't have ruby with him now. My eyes are all that I have left. They are made of rare sapphires. And he said that now as I don't have ruby, but I have sapphires with me. My eyes, they are made of rare sapphire. Which sapphire is also a stone which are very precious. He said that my now I have only my eyes left, and they have sapphires. My eyes, they are made of rare sapphires, which were brought out of India 1,000 years ago. And he said that these sapphires are brought out of India, from India, some thousands years ago. He ordered the swallow to pluck out one of them and take it to the playwright. He will sell it to the jailer and buy firewood and finish his play, he said. And the happy prince, he requests the swallow that, he did not request, he ordered the swallow that to pluck out one of his eyes, pluck out the sapphire from his eyes, and to give it to the playwright, so that the playwright can sell this sapphire to the jeweler, and he can have enough money, and then he will buy firewood, and also he can have food, and then he can finish his play. Then what the swallow said? Dear prince, said the swallow, I cannot do that, and he began to weep. So the swallow he said to the prince that he could not do this. He could not do this. What he is ordering him, he could not do, and he started weeping. The swallow he started weeping. Swallow, swallow, little swallow, said the prince. Do as I command you. And then the prince said to the swallow to do what he has commanded. It was his order. It is not a request. It is his order. So the swallow plucked out the prince's eye and flew away to the young man's garret. It was easy enough to get in, as there was a hole in the roof. Through this he darted and came into the room. Now the swallow, the prince has ordered him to pluck out one of his eyes. That means one of the sapphire from his eyes, and then he plucked out one prince's eyes, and then away he flew away to the young man's garret, to the young man's room. And it was very easy to get inside the room because there was a small hole in the roof, and the swallow he can easily get inside the room. Through this he darted, means he landed. Through that he landed, and he came into the room. The young man had his head buried in his hands, and the young man, he had his head buried in his hands. He was like doing in this way, buried in his hands. So he did not hear the flutter of the bird's wing, and he did not hear the sound of the bird's wing. And when he looked up, he found the beautiful sapphire lying on the withered violets. And then when he just looked up, the bird, he dropped the sapphire there, and when the playwright, he just woke up and he saw that, okay, he looked up and he saw that there is a very beautiful sapphire. It was lying on that violet, on that flower, on that dry flower. I'm beginning to be appreciated, he cried. This is from some great admirer. And he said that, okay, maybe my work is being appreciated by someone. My work is being appreciated by someone. That's why maybe though my admirer has sent me this thing, sent me the this sapphire, so that I can finish my play. Now I can finish my play. And he looked quite happy. And then when he saw the sapphire, he said that now he can complete his play. And he looked very happy. So in this way, the happy prince and the swallow helped the playwright also. So the next day, the swallow flew down to the harbor. He sat on the vessel and watched the sailors walking. I'm going to Egypt, cried the swallow. But nobody minded, and when the moon rose, he flew back to the happy prince. And then the next day, the swallow, he flew down to the harbor. Harbor means where the ships are kept. And then he sat on the mast of the large vessel, and from there he can see everyone there, the sailors who are working in the ship. And then he was saying, I'm going to Egypt. But as he was speaking, no one has actually given any importance to him. It is just to make us, it is just to make a humorous written that nobody minded it. But nobody minded it. And when moon rose and when the night started, he flew back to the happy prince so that he can say goodbye to him. I have come to bid you goodbye, he cried. And then the swallow, as he flew back to happy prince, and he said that here I have come here to say you goodbye. Swallow, swallow, little swallow, said the prince, will you not stay with me one night longer? Again the happy prince requests the swallow to stay with him one night longer. It is winter, answered the swallow, and the snow will soon be here. In Egypt, the sun is warm, and the green palm trees, on the green palm trees, and the crocodiles lie in the mud and look lazily about them. So then he said that now it is winter, and very soon there will be snow here, and then he could not go from here. And in Egypt, the sun is warm on the green palm trees, and the crocodiles, they lie in the mud, looking very lazy because it is warm. They used to sleep in the mud. So in this way, a very good weather is there in Egypt now. So he means that he wants to go there. As already his friends are there, they are enjoying. He has already spent 2 days with the happy prince. Now he has to go, and if when the winter will start, when the snow will start, then it will be very difficult for him to go away from there. So in the square below, said the happy prince, there stands a little match girl. She has let her matches fall in the gutter, and they are all spoiled. Her father will beat her if she does not bring home some money, and she is crying. And then he said that he can say that in a square below on the market area, you can say in the market area, there he can see that a match girl, a small girl, she's standing, who actually sells the matches, okay? And she has, her matches has all fall in the gutter. Now they are all spoiled. Now if she will not take money to her home, her father will beat her. So now she is crying there, and she doesn't even have, she can matches because it has all spoiled. So now he wants to help that little girl. She is crying. She has no shoes or stockings. And then he said that she has neither shoes nor stockings. And her little head is bare. And her little head is also bare. She has nothing because it is very it is a winter time. So she needs to put some scarf on her head and all, but she doesn't have anything. She doesn't even have shoes or stockings, and now it's as it is very cold. So now the happy prince, he wants to help that little girl. Pluck out my other eye and give it to her, and her father will not beat her. And he requests the swallow to pluck out his eyes and to give it to the girl. And then when she will take this sapphire, the other eye, the sapphire, to her home, her father, he will not beat her. He will be happy. They will have enough money. She will also, she will afford to buy all the things that is necessary for her. So now the swallow, he is very kind-hearted. So he also felt pity on that match girl. So what he said, I will stay with you one night longer, said the swallow. But I cannot pluck out your eye. You would be quite blind then. And then he said, that, okay, I am ready to stay with you one night longer. But I cannot pluck your eye because if I will take your another eye, you will be totally blind. Swallow, swallow, little swallow, said the prince, do as I command you. And then the prince, he said the swallow to do whatever he is ordering to him. So he plucked out the prince's other eye and darted down with it. He swooped past the match girl and slipped the jewel into the palm of her hand. Now, as he has ordered, the prince has ordered him, and did the same thing. He plucked out Prince's other eye and he just darted down with it. Sapphire on his beak and he darted down. He flew down with it, and as he was just flying from there, he just stopped for some time there and slipped the jewel in her palm, and then he on her palm, and then he flew away. What a lovely bit of glass! Cried the little girl, and she ran home laughing. And when that little girl she saw that sapphire, she was very happy. She just exclaimed with happiness that okay, it is a very beautiful bit of glass. She doesn't know what it is, but it was very shiny. It was very beautiful. And then she just ran towards her home, laughing. She was happy. Then the swallow came back to the prince. You are blind now, he said, so I will stay with you always. And then the swallow, after doing his work, he came back to the prince and he said that now you have become totally blind. So now I will not go to Egypt, I will stay with you forever. No, little swallow, said the poor prince. You must go away to Egypt. Then the prince he said that no, you now you can go to Egypt as you have already done my work. You can go to Egypt. No, I will stay with you always, said the swallow, and he slapped at the prince's feet. And then he said, no, now I will not go. I will stay with you forever. Whatever might be the problem, I will stay with you forever. And then he slapped at the prince's feet. So in this way, he used to spend his day with the prince. All the next day, he sat on the prince's and told him stories of what he had seen in strange lands. So now, from the next day, every day, what he used to do, he used to sat on Prince's shoulder and told him stories. Stories means what he can see in that strange land, what are the things he can see, because now as the happy prince, he has become totally blind, he cannot see what is going on in the city. So this swallow, he used to tell those stories. He used to tell whatever is going on in the land. Dear little swallow, said the prince, you tell me of marvelous things, but more marvelous than anything is the suffering of men and women. Now, the prince has said to the swallow that actually the swallow he used to tell the good things, the things that are marvelous things. So he said that tell me you tell me about the marvelous thing or about the good things, about the nice thing. But more marvelous for me is the suffering of the man of my city and of man and woman. I cannot see. You please tell me about the suffering of man and woman because that is the greater one. That is the one important which I should know it. There is no mystery so great as misery. And then he said that there is nothing that is greater than misery. Misery is the most important thing, and you have to see who are suffering and you have to tell me about those people who are suffering, those poor people, how they are living their life. So he said, fly over my city, little swallow, and tell me what you see there. And sorry, and he said that okay, just fly away over my city and then see what how people, the people who are suffering, you see the misery of the people, and then come and tell me what you see there about the misery, about the people who are suffering, about the poor people, poor children. You tell me about those things. So the little swallow flew over the great city and saw the rich men making merry in their beautiful houses, while the beggars were sitting at the gates. He flew into dark lands and saw the white faces of starving children looking out listlessly at the black streets. Under the archway of a bridge, two little boys were lying in each other's arms to try and keep themselves warm. "How hungry we are," they said. "You must not lie here," shouted the watchman, and they wandered out into the rain. So now the swallow, he just flew over the city, the great city, and then he see everything. He just started noticing everything. He saw that the rich people are enjoying in their house, in their beautiful house, while the beggars are were sitting at their gates. He also flew in the dark lands, and then he saw the white faces of the starving children, the faces that has become pale because they have not got food for from many days, and they used to simply sit there and look at the black streets because they don't have anything. And then under the archway of the bridge, he sees two little boys. They were lying in each other's arms so that they can keep themselves warm because they don't have warm clothes, and as it was very cold. So in this way, they are making themselves warm, but and telling them that they are also hungry and they don't have money to buy anything for them. And suddenly a watchman will come shouting that you cannot sit, not lie here, just go away from here. And again, what they will do, they will just wander into the out into the rain. So in this way, these people are suffering. And when the swallow, when he just flew over the city, he saw those things, the suffering of the people. Then he flew back and told the prince what he had seen. And he will flew back to the prince and he will tell all the story to the prince, whatever things he had seen in the city. "I am covered with fine gold," said the prince. "You must take it off, leaf by leaf, and give it to the poor. The living always think that gold can make them happy." And now he said that then when he heard about the suffering of the people, the prince said, "As I am covered with fine golds, my whole body is covered with gold, and he ordered the swallow just to take out one by one all the leaf by leaf to take out and give it to the poor. And he says that the people, when they will get gold, they will be happy, because the living beings or the human being who are alive, they always think that gold can make them happy. So just take out all that covered fine gold from my body and just give it to the and distribute it to the poor." So leaf after leaf of the fine gold the swallow picked off, till the happy prince looked quite dull and grey. So now the swallow, he followed the order of the happy prince. He started taking out the fine gold leaf after leaf and distributed it to the. And now after some days, the prince, he looked very dull and very grey, very like quite, he looked very dull, because all he looks beautiful, he looks very nice when it was when his whole body it was made of gold and all. But now when all the gold, all the precious stones were gone away from his body, from the statue, now he became totally dull and he looked very uninteresting object. Leaf after leaf of the fine gold he brought to the poor, and the children's faces grew rosier, and they laughed and played in the street. "We have bread now," they cried. And as when the swallow, he just bring leaf after leaf, he just distribute this gold to the poor and the children. He can see the children faces, they become rosier. The pale face, the white face, they become rosier, and they started laughing and dancing and enjoying in the street by telling that now they have bread to eat, and in this way they enjoyed it. Then the snow came, and after the snow came the frost. The streets looked as if they were made of silver. Everybody went about in furs, and the little boys wore scarlet caps and skated on the ice. Now, the snow came, and after the snow, there was frost. That means even the road are covered with snow. It seems like they are all made of silver, and everyone started wearing the warm clothes. They will be seen in the furs. The boys, they will be wearing scarlet caps, and they skate on the ice. Okay, so in this way, it has now it has become it's totally all the roads are covered with snow, and now people wearing the warm clothes. It's very cool. So now how this swallow is surviving, because he has not left the happy prince in this time also. Here he, at last, he just decided that not to leave the happy prince and to stay with him. So now how the swallow is actually he is spending his time. Then the poor little swallow grew colder and colder. But he would not leave the prince. He loved him too well. He picked up crumbs outside the baker's door when the baker was not looking, and tried to keep himself warm by flapping his wings. So this poor little swallow, now he grew colder and colder. But still he would not leave the prince. He had every opportunity to just go away from there, but he was very kind enough that he did not leave the prince, as he loved him too. He picked up crumbs. So now how he get some crumbs. Crumbs means the leftover bread that was kept on the baker's door. He will just pick up those crumbs and he will eat those crumbs of bread. Whenever the baker was not looking him, he will go there, he will pick up the crumbs, he will eat those crumbs. And to make himself warm, he will be flapping his wings. And in this way, he was spending his time there. But at last he knew that he was going to die. He had just enough strength to fly up to the prince once more. So now, at last, he knew, the swallow, he knew that he will be dying. He was going to die, and he doesn't have enough strength so that he can fly to the prince's shoulder once more. At the last time, he want to fly to the prince's shoulder, but he doesn't have any uh, strength. "Goodbye, dear prince," he murmured. "Will you let me kiss your hand?" And then he said goodbye to the prince. He just murmured. And then he asked him if he would allow him to kiss in his hand. "I'm glad that you are going to Egypt at last, little swallow," said the prince. "You have stayed too long here, but you must kiss me on the lips, for I love you." And then the happy prince, he doesn't know, he cannot see what is actually going on. He doesn't know that the swallow is going to die. So he thought that he's going to Egypt. And he said that, "Yes, now I'm very happy that you are going, at last you are going to Egypt, and you have stayed with me very for a long time. You were with me, you have been living with me, but you must kiss in my lips, for I love you." So he said that to kiss in his lips as he loved him. "It is not to Egypt that I am going," said the swallow. "I am going to the house of Death. Death is the brother of sleep, is he not?" And then he said that it is actually he is not going to Egypt. It is not that I am going to Egypt. He is not going to Egypt. He is going to the house of death. Said to the he uttered the reality to the happy prince that he is going to die now. And he also said that that is the brother of sleep. That means he is going to a deep sleep. Is he not? And even he asked him, is he not? And he kissed the happy prince on the lips and fell down dead at his feet. And at last he kissed the happy prince on his lips, and he fell down dead. He died at his feet. So in this way, the swallow, he died. At that moment, a curious crack sounded inside the statue, as if something had broken. The fact is that the leaden heart had snapped right in two. It certainly was a dreadful hard frost. So at the moment, suddenly there was a curious crack sounded inside the statue, as if something had broken. And it was the leaden heart, the heart that was made of lead. It has actually broken into two pieces, snapped right in two. And it was actually the dreadful hard frost. Because of that hard frost, the lead of the happy prince, the heart of the happy So early the next morning, so in this way, we can do it. Though the statue, the Happy Prince has already died, but there was a statue who was in one way it was alive, but now the statue was also dead. In one way, we can say it is dead because the heart, which actually has some feelings, though he could not utter it, though he could not show it, but still he had some feeling. It also break. Early the next morning, the mayor was walking in the square below in company with the town councillor. As they passed the column, he looked up at the statue. Dear me, how shabby the Happy Prince looks, he said. And then the next morning, the mayor and the town councillor, they were walking, they were having some conversation and they were walking in the square below. And suddenly, as they just passed the column, he just stand there and he looked up at the statue. And he found that the statue has become very ugly to look. It is not that beautiful statue which had some gold, which had the precious ruby and all. Now it has become very ugly to look at. And then he said to himself that how shabby Prince look, how shabby indeed, cried the town councillor, who always agreed with Meir, and they went up to look at it. And even the town councillor agreed with Meir. Yes, it looks so shabby. That means it looks so ugly now. The ruby has fallen out of his sword, his eyes are gone, and he is golden no longer, said the mayor. Then he said that the ruby that was in his sword, it has also gone. His eyes, which were actually the sapphire, they are also not there, and even the golden that the whole body as it was covered with golden, it is also not there. So in fact, it is little better than a beggar. Now this Happy Prince, statue of Happy Prince has become like a beggar, but still little bit better than the beggar. They were talking and they were giving a comment on the statue of the Happy Prince that it has become like a beggar, little bit better than a beggar. Little better than a beggar, said the town councillor. And of course, the town councillor who always agreed with the mayor, he said, yes, yes, little better than a beggar. And here is actually a dead bird at his feet, continued the mayor. And then the mayor he said that you can see here there is a dead bird at his feet. We must really issue a proclamation that birds are not to be allowed to die here. And the town clerk made a note of the suggestion. And then he ordered the town councillor that there should be an order should be issued that birds are not allowed to die here in the in the statue. And then, according to the mayor, the town councillor, he made a note of his suggestion that bird should not be die here. That means it's not the bird who he will not be able to see and read about it, and he doesn't even understand what is the feeling or what things has happened with them. They don't understand, but only people just give a comment on the things that are going on, but how that those things happen, and they could not understand the feeling of the bird and this the relation of the that statue and the bird. So they pulled down the statue of the hat. As he is no longer beautiful, he is no longer useful, said the art professor at the university. And then the art professor of university, he said that as this Happy Prince is not beautiful, so it has become a useless object. So they pulled down the statue of the Happy Prince from there. Then they melted the statue in a furnace. What a strange thing, said the overseer of the workmen at the foundry. And then they just took the statue, they melted the statue in a furnace, and then they found some very strange object there. Strange things happened there. And the workman, the one who is working there, he said, this broken lead heart will not melt in the furnace. We must throw it away. So they threw it on a dust heap with the dead swallow, uh, where the dead swallow was also lying. So now the lead of that herd that was made of lead, as they were melting in the furnace, but the lead doesn't melt. And then the workman, he said that the lead is not going to be melt, so we cannot use the lead, so just throw it away. And then they threw that lead, the heart of the happy prince, on a dust heap where the dead body of the swallow was also lying. So in this way, the both of them, they died. And it actually gives us a message that, it gives us a very beautiful message. The story gives us a message here. You can read it out. It is written here, okay? Bring me the two most precious things in the city, said God to one of his angels. And the angel brought him the leaden heart and the dead bird. So though this dead bird and leaden heart are useless for human beings, it is not a useful object for anyone, but still it has done a great deal. In the heaven, God, he tells the angel just to go around the city, go around there, and to bring most precious things to him, the most precious thing. And then when the angel, they just roam around, they just move around, they found two things, that is a leaden heart and the dead bird. And then they brought those two objects to God. You have rightly chosen, said God. So God is observing everyone. God, we may think that whatever deeds we are doing, it is not actually observed by anyone. Though human being doesn't see your deeds, but yes, God sees our deeds. So we should always do the right thing. So that is a lesson from to us from this chapter. Though it might not be a true one. Okay, we cannot. Our happy statue cannot speak it out, but still it gives us a message. And then you have rightly chosen, said God, for in my garden of paradise this little bird shall sing, and in my city of gold the happy prince shall praise me. So, according to God, two objects were precious. Though these two objects were not useful for human being, they have thrown it in a dust. But for God, these were useful objects because without thinking about their own um, facilities. These two bird and the statue of the happy prince, they have done a great deed by helping others. Though they suffered a lot, but they helped others by suffering. They did not they did not thought of getting facilities for themselves or getting the things for themselves, but they thought that they should help the people who are suffering. So in this way, they did the good things, and that's why God chose these two objects, which is the most precious object for God, and they are with God in heaven, and God has kept them in His garden. The little girl, he will sing for song forever in his garden, and the happy prince will kept in the city of gold and shall praise God. So in this way, the chapter The Happy Prince ends. So understood, everyone? So we got a very beautiful message from here. So can you please tell me what kind of message we got from The Happy Prince? What according to you, you have actually, what you have understood, or how you have understood that, what message actually this happy prince give us? What is the message it give us? Reply. What message do you got from this chapter? Reply if you have understood the chapter properly, as it was started, it was done in class also once. So you can reply it. What message it gives you? Yeah, what is the message that the lesson give us? Yeah, Mandira, Anamika, Shrishti, Sanjeev, Damodar, Vishwas, Neha. Write it down something what you have understood or what kind of lesson you have learned from this chapter. No reply till now, or you are writing? No idea. Okay, Mandira has actually given that by helping others, if these are suffered, then it's nothing but others are being cured by our help. Yeah, that is fine, Mandira. Yes, by helping others, um, though we suffer by helping others, though anyone doesn't see, but actually God sees, and for that we actually get a very good reward. At last, we actually get a good reward. Okay, it doesn't mean that as we suffer, will not get anything. But yes, a good reward will be given to us whenever you help the sufferers. Though you are suffering, but you should always help the sufferer. We should not laugh or make fun of the poor people. We should not um, try to make fun of them, fun of their situation, isn't it? But somehow, if we cannot do many things for them, but at least we can help them by some of our deeds, and that is the biggest thing. Okay. Yes, Mandira has okay. Mandira, she has given. Still, you have to get some idea. No, after reading a story, we should have some idea that okay, this is the lesson we read it. Simply reading a story will not be enough. Simply knowing the story will not be enough. At least you have to get the main idea of the story. And the main idea of this story is that if you help others, if you help others in their need when they are in need, of course you will also get a very good reward at last. Okay, so that is what actually the story gives us a lesson. We should not make fun of anyone. We should not make fun of the poor people. We should not make fun of those people who are suffering. We should not make fun of their situation, because we are living a very comfortable life. Very it's a comfortable, a very good life we have got, and that is what given by God itself. So the one who has not got those kind of life, we should not laugh at them, because the thing returns back, isn't it? When you do some bad things, when you actually hurt others, it will also affect you, it will directly come to you. Okay, so that's all for today. I hope everyone has understood. Do you have any doubt here? I hope there is no doubt. Of course, two times already taken the same chapter. Yes, students? Do you have any question regarding the chapter? You can write. Otherwise, we will end the class for today. Okay, no doubt. Okay, then, students, I hope you have understood properly. So that's all for today. We will be back tomorrow again with some other chapters, whatever we have left now. Okay, until okay, no doubt. Okay, then, students, take care of yourself. Bye, students. Thank you.